This is why you died.
Hello all and welcome to episode 1 of season 3 of This Is Why You Died. We're back from the dead and hungry for guts, brains, and viscera, but that's just because we were watching cooking shows while we were away, and now we have an absolutely killer recipe for tripe and grits. We are the show that discusses films that we choose based on prompts that we draw at random from the 666 words and phrases in our buckets of the beast, and it is hard to believe that we are already in our 3rd season.
Ain't that
I, of
the
course,
truth?
Incredible.
Oh, it's so crazy. I'm, of course, Sir Ian Dagers, aka your Uncle Frank, and joining me as always are the culinary masterminds behind such delicious dishes as the Silence of the Lamb Shanks and the Prawns of the Dead, Dan Marcha Madness, and the Terra Fryer himself, Ryan Ross. Live. Welcome back, boys.
Fryer. Hello.
How was your
Amazing.
break? How was your break?
It was great, but I missed seeing you boys and talking about movies every
Agreed.
week. So yes, it's good to be back.
It is good to be back. It's good to be back, and I'm sorry out of the gate for the puns, but then again, I'm not sorry.
No, don't
whatsoever.
apologize. Although it's funny
Don't
that
worry.
you joke about watching cooking shows, because I was gonna joke that when I was on break, the movies that I watched were not horror at all. I watched Oh Brother, Where Art Thou and The Devil Wears Prada, neither of which I'd seen before.
What? Okay, and
And what'd you think?
So they're both very good movies. I was a little surprised. With Oh Brother, Where Art Thou's reputation, I expected a little bit more from it than I think was there. It's still a good movie. And I know that it's a great allegory in terms of like the Odyssey and everything. But like I kind of expected it on its own to be more of a movie and less of just a bald-faced allegory. It was still very good. George Clooney is very good in it. And then Devil Wears Prada is very, very good. I was very impressed. I was surprised that it was as rom-com-y as it was. I had always thought that it was more of like it was more of a drama than like a more rom-com-y movie. But
My biggest problem with Devil Wears Prada is the false advertising, because I saw that movie and not once was there a single devil in the movie. You know, Stanley Tucci did not turn into Beelzebub at any point, and I was like, what did I spend my money on?
oh,
This
my.
is ridiculous.
this explains
Come
so
on.
much.
Come on.
Stanley
Bull
Tucci
crap.
is great in that movie, though. He's fantastic.
They're all great
It's the,
in that
it's
movie.
the Tooch. It's the Tooch.
It's a
The
great
Tooch can do no
amazing.
wrong. Come
I'm
on.
curious
love
about
Stanley
this
Tucci.
sequel that comes out soon.
We
Yeah,
love
so
the
let's see
Tooch no matter what he's doing, although he needs to do more horror movie, because Lovely Bones wasn't enough. I need more.
Oh,
I need more of
yeah.
that. But everyone,
more
we are
serial
back.
killer?
We're back for season 3. We had a movie we're going to talk about today, but because it's season 3, we have some new things that we are doing as well. We've got the Marcha Minute coming at you shortly.
geez.
That's right. We're gonna be timing Dan. He's gonna have to give a 1-minute rant every episode, and then of course,
I got it.
you better. You've had time to practice. But we also are doing some news. So let's get into the horror news. All the news that's fit to print for this particular week of horror. This is going to be, this week, I've got something interesting, and I just found this out. So we know that Evil Dead Burn is coming out this year, June 2026, directed by French director Sebastian Vanacek, who also did Infested, the creepy spider movie that came out a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I'm very curious to see that. And then Evil Dead Wrath, we just found out, is currently filming right now in New Zealand to be released in 2027 or 2028.
Whoa.
This is like the fastest Evil Dead movies have ever come out. They're coming out like crazy right now. And it's kind of cool because what producers Sam Raimi and Rob Tapert are doing right now is basically making it kind of like a farmland for young up-and-coming horror directors, right? You had Lee Cronin doing Evil Dead Rise, and now you've got these two new horror directors. The one who's directing Evil Dead Wrath is going to be, let me find it. I've got it right here. No, I don't have it right here. Damn it, I've got the cast.
Well,
but
while
I
you
don't
look
have
for it, I'm
who's
going to point
directing
out that the irony that Dan's wearing an Evil Dead shirt and this was not coordinated is amazing.
I know.
That was not coordinated. I had no idea.
Coordinated. That's cool. I mean, that's exciting. I didn't realize I think because they were releasing the information of these two kind of back to back, I didn't realize that there was two in conjunction. I thought that they were like changing the name, like they were switching the name of the title of the same movie. I didn't realize there was two Evil Dead movies that are in production right now.
Evil Dead movies.
Wild.
Yeah, it's wild. And so, sorry, Francis Galuppi is the name of the director who's doing Evil Dead Wrath, and he has done almost nothing. He did actually a very good horror short called High Desert Hell, as well as his only feature film is Last Stop in Yuma County, which I have not seen, but I have heard it's good. So they are taking some chances on some young up-and-coming directors. The cast is pretty solid. They've got Charlotte Hope from The Nun. She was Miranda, the evil little cannibal helper of Ramsay Bolton on Game of Thrones. You also have Jessica McNamee, who was Sonya Blade in the last Mortal Kombat movie. She was also in The Loved Ones and The Meg. And then Zach Gilford is also rounding out the main cast. And he was the main character in Midnight Mass. And was also Purge Anarchy. So pretty solid cast for Evil Dead Wrath filming right now. So that is the news. The first news, which, and I promise next time I'll get all my facts before I start doing the news. I'll line it all up.
Well, I'll jump off of you because I have a little bit of horror gaming news.
Let's go. Horror gaming news from Ryan Ross Live. Hit it.
So it's 2026, and that is the 30th anniversary of the Resident Evil franchise. And so earlier this month, there is a couple things that have popped up for the 30th anniversary, including anybody who is listening till the end of the month. Resident Evil is doing a promotion on PlayStation where you can claim 30th anniversary Resident Evil avatars by logging in with your PlayStation account. And you can get there's both like a illustrated and then the actual model heads of some of the famous characters like Leon Kennedy and Ada Wong that you can claim on your account and will be granted to you as part of the 30th anniversary. And on Steam, if you're a PC gamer, they have added Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 to Steam, I believe, for the first time. I'm not 100%, but they have been added to Steam as of April 1st, and they are on sale through the 15th for 50% off each, and so you can get all three for a total of $15. Which,
are they the originals or the remakes? That's the real question.
These are the originals. So they have the remakes. This is the 1996, 1998, and 1999 games on sale for $5 each on Steam.
I really forgot that it was like Resident Evil 2 and then Nemesis was like back to back. Like they
really
just
close after
around.
it. Yeah. So, and then Nemesis, like even with the remake, was just like half a game.
Right.
It was. And then 4 came along and kind of went and whipped it out on all of gaming, and nothing was the same since.
But yes, the remakes are also available, of course, but now the originals are too. And you can get them for a pretty decent price up until April 15th. So jump on it if you want them.
Very cool. Very cool. And check out Resident Evil 9, which is out right now, and it's sick.
You love that one, huh?
Yeah, I finished playing it. Now I'm like deep into Crimson Desert, but Resident Evil 9, good stuff. I can't wait to do it.
I have a slight confession. I didn't do it, but I was picking up some last minute Easter items at Target, and I saw PS5 and I saw Resident Evil Requiem, and I was like, am I about to spend like $800 right now? I didn't do it.
You should have picked it up because they're about to increase the price of the PS5.
No, they are.
Yeah, because
it's gonna be the first time. It's been the first time in the history of gaming that a system will go above its original asking price.
Wow, I should get it. Oh no.
Let me see if I can pull up the date, price increase date.
Oh man.
Slight deviation from horror films to the horror of RAM prices.
It went up 3 days ago.
Oh, well then never mind. I'm screwed.
It went up.
You might still be able to find some like people who haven't caught on yet, but
I'll just wait a few years till people get tired and sell.
And then the PS6 will be out, and you'll be stuck in the same situation.
It went up by $100.
Oh, that's how I always $100. That's a lot of money. Holy!
Well, all the memory, the RAM is almost doubled in price.
That makes sense.
Because of AI, baby.
Yeah,
all that AI stuff going on.
That's crazy.
drinking up the water and bumping up the RAM prices.
Yep. Let's see how long this lasts. But in the meantime, back to what we're here to do, which is, of course, horror movies. And there's no one who loves horror movies more than Mr. Dan Marcha Madness, which is why we give him on every show starting in this third season, starting right now. This is actually going to be only his second one. His first one, if you count the last one as a practice. We give Dan a minute.
That last one was a mess, so I think I'm going to do a little bit better on this one.
Mess? You pulled it in just under
the first
time.
30 seconds was nothing, and then I had to scramble for the last 30 seconds.
You got this, buddy. You got this, buddy. All right, so we're going to do...
I know exactly what I'm going to talk about. I have it. I'm ready to go.
All right, then we are going to do the Marcha Minute. Go for it. Bam, Marcha Minute.
All right, so you guys didn't believe me last in the season finale when you're like, I can't believe that you chose the girl that would slip on her socks, and that's how she would be killed. But just about a week ago, I had to go and spend the night in the ER because my daughter, who was running on a slippery floor with socks, slipped and split her chin open. Had to go get some stitches. So it's real. It happens. Socks were the villain. Socks helped Michael Myers. I stand by it. I think it was a very strong choice. You made a little fun of me, but it's true. I have the proof. I have the pictures. I sent you guys pictures. I'm like, look it. I'm at the ER right now. This is truly happening. I made a good choice, and I stand by my choice, and I have the proof. So socks, man, they're dangerous. Socks and slippery floors.
48 seconds.
48 seconds. Dan, you came in with 12 seconds to spare. You got more than your minute here.
I proved my point.
Oh, dude, we got a March a minute in under a minute. He just had to rant about socks and how apparently in the remake of Halloween 2018, it showed how dangerous socks can be. And you picked that as actually, I think you're like
Mount
worst
Rushmore,
kill.
baby.
Yeah, like one of the worst kills of last season. And lo and behold, almost like a law of
I told you in the episode, I said my daughters have almost happened. And then, boom, days later, after we premiere our episodes, it actually happens.
This is what happens when your daughters don't listen to our show, man.
I know.
They don't learn their lesson.
Yeah.
And did you turn to your daughter when she was in the ER and go, this is why you died?
No, that's horrible. She's very young. I would never do that.
I'm just saying. Socks in the house. What did daddy tell you? This is why you died.
Deep-seated childhood trauma.
Yes, but she also would never run on the floor in socks again.
Right.
I'm just saying.
She's learned.
Remember one time I was in the hospital and you told me that this is how I was going to die? I remember.
Yes, and you know what? You've never worn socks on the floor since. You're welcome. You're welcome, young lady. But there it is, your first ever Marcha Minute. Going off about socks. 3. That is I can think of no better way to start off season 3 than a rant about socks and horror movies and the proof that in real life socks are indeed dangerous if you run on hardwood floors. But Dan, not only is it time for your minute, but it's also this episode. It's your choice. You did roll the dice and you came in last, which meant you had to pick first. And that means that your movie was the very first one that we watched on this new season. Would you like to tell everyone what your prompt was that you picked and what movie it was that you made us watch?
Well, a little bit of a spoiler alert. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can probably already see the title right here. So if you go to TIWID .ai / no, it's what is it? What is our thing?
It's been so long you forgot
it. It's been that long. See, beacons.ai / TIWID pod is all our links so you can listen to us and you can watch us on YouTube. But my prompt was Mutant. And it took me all of about 15 seconds to finally land on this movie because twofold, we had talked about it a lot in the past 2 seasons as being a movie that like came up a few times that were like, oh, we should be watching this. Let's watch this. And so it very much fit this. And so the movie that I chose that fit Mutant is the 2006 The Hills Have Eyes, which is a remake of the original Wes Craven. But this movie really, really, really messed me up when I saw it the first time. So I had to bring it to the show and I had to expose Ryan to it. So that's
right. If this is your first time ever watching or listening to the show, thank you for joining us. Basically, the way this works is that Dan and I have watched a shit ton of horror movies, and Ryan Ross Live has not. Ryan has actually not watched any horror movies pretty much ever. Only movies he's really watched are the ones he's seen on this show.
Which, to be fair, at this point we've watched like 60 movies, so I feel like there's a chunk. But yes, out of the 3, I am still very much the new one.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, you have had the crashiest of crash courses in horror movies thus far, but there's still a lot of like history and whatnot that we have so many sites to show you. Ryan Ross live. But yes, basically, so Dan is wanting to introduce The Hills Have Eyes, and it's interesting. You went for the remake and not the Wes Craven original. And why did you go for the remake specifically? Was it because how it messed you up? Did you feel it was a better movie? What made you go for the remake as opposed to the original?
Oh my! And here comes my Ian chastising me award for the first episode of the new season, but I have not seen the original Wes Craven.
There it is.
The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
I am a bad horror fan, but I have not seen the original. But this movie came out during the whole let's remake every horror movie that was made in the 70s and 80s. But this was an exciting one because I'd heard a lot of crazy things about it. Wes Craven was behind it, so I was like, oh, that's cool. He's behind this. And then I had heard a lot about this director. So I had heard that there was I had heard about the French New Extremity, but I hadn't watched anything yet. And so I went with a group of friends, and I can get into that story because that's a funny little story. But having watched the movie, I was just floored in what I was seeing on the screen and how it was something very new and fresh that American audiences hadn't really been exposed to. And it was like, holy hell. I just was blown away when the shit really hits the fan in this movie. And it is terrifying, some of the stuff that they put on screen. And so I just wasn't ready for it. And I wanted to rewatch it to see how I felt again.
Yeah, and that's totally a valid point. I mean, I think that there are two movies that are very similar in a lot of ways, plot-wise. They're almost identical except for parts of the third act and what certain characters do. But in terms of like tone and delivery, yeah, they're light years apart. I mean, you're talking about early 80s grindhouse exploitation feel, super, super low budget with the original. And then this one, which had a huge budget, relatively speaking, and was made by, a professional crew and came out of the French New Extremity, which I have to reference because I always do. But Alexandre Aja, the guy who directed this movie, was hired for this by Wes Craven because Wes Craven saw High Tension and went, oh, dude, you know how to fuck people up. You know how to mess things up. And the French New Extremity was very dirty and very hardcore and in your face and extreme. And it was not like a lot of stuff that we'd seen in America at the time. And so you see a lot of that coming into America and starting what a lot of people call the torture porn movement in America. But the people called this torture porn when it came out. It is not. It's just, an updated grindhouse film. And a lot of the French New Extremity was very much grindhouse based, that kind of exploitation, over the top, in your face violence. And just like the original Hills Have Eyes, which was rated X when it first was rated and first came out, this Hills Have Eyes was rated NC-17 when it first came out, and it had to be cut down to an R because of the violence. And then ultimately they released it on DVD as an unrated version, which now I think is what most people see, the hour and 48 version. If you guys happen to know which version you watched. But but as you said, like, this came out in that era when they were remaking everything, and Wes Craven saw that they remade Dawn of the Dead and Amityville Horror and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and he was like, yo, I want some of that money. What can we update of mine? And this is what he chose. So boys, I think it's time we get into talking about the Hills Have Eyes remake. Ryan, is there anything that you want to say about this movie before we give the spoiler warning and jump into this, or anything that you knew about it beforehand or anything like that?
Only what you guys had referenced, and it's not what I thought. So I'm eager to dive in and kind of dissect that with you guys.
Oh, yeah. I want to know what you thought it was versus what you ultimately got. But before we get into that, we're going to do what we always do, which is give the spoiler warning.
Spoiler alert. All spoilers, including character deaths and plot twists, are now authorized. You have been warned.
Bam, bam, bam. There it is. The first spoiler warning of the new season. That's right. Going forward, we're going to spoil the crap out of the Hills Have Eyes remake from 2006. So if you don't know it, if you haven't watched it, go check it out now, or we're going to spoil it for you, and it's going to be what it's going to be. But it's a good movie. It follows the same plot as the original. You have this family that is on a road trip to California, and they go through the Mojave Desert, and well, actually, no, I guess it's technically the Arizona desert, New Mexico desert, where they tested atomic bombs, right? But they shot it in the Mojave, and it subs for this. Whereas the remake, they shot it in Morocco, like on the edge of the Sahara. But, weirdly enough, yeah, they went out to Africa to substitute for California or Arizona. Yeah, substitute for California for substituting for New Mexico in the original. Yeah.
Just southwestern state soup.
Southwestern
Arizona,
New
Mexico, California.
That dry desert hellscape that's out east of us over there, where they used to drop atomic bomb. Actually, it's funny. They didn't do atmospheric atomic bomb testings there. A lot of ground tests, but mostly they did like stuff out in the Pacific Ocean. Oops. But this movie, this family gets they take a bad side road, which I'm sure Ryan, I'm going to give you a time to bitch about that a little bit later on. The fact that they go off the main road,
don't worry,
but they're given
it's coming.
I know it is. They take a bad detour thanks to some faulty directions, and they end up in the middle of nowhere and being attacked by a bunch of cannibalistic mutants from that have been irradiated by all the nuclear tests out there in the middle of nowhere. And these mutants attack the family, and shit goes down. The movie does not pull punches. It's people like that first wave of the mutants attack. Half the family's dead. They're dead, or they're raped, or they're beaten up, or they're all messed up by the end of that. So yeah, and then the baby's gone. It's a hardcore movie. So Ryan, I'm just going to dive right into it right now, man. Ryan, what did you think you were getting with this versus what you actually got?
So honestly, based off of the name and the way that you guys kind of referenced it, I expected this to be more like, not style wise, but at least like setting and theme wise, more like Tucker and Dale versus Evil, like backwoods setting.
Like, no!
I was expecting like The Hills Have Eyes to be like, like in the deep backwoods, like there was gonna be some, and then we're like out in the desert.
Wrong turn.
And I was like, what is going on here? And so just that alone was a strong pivot from my expectations.
Similar. I mean, instead of Appalachian rednecks on about the same distance in from the coast, you have the same distance in from the coast on the other side of the United States.
And like conceptually, in terms of like actions, I feel like that wasn't too terribly out of line with what I expected.
No,
it was just
dry as the trees.
Way off from what I expected from the name. I was like expecting, like the hills of the countryside, not the hills of a desert.
Should have been called The Dunes Have Eyes.
Yeah, dude. Guys. Like the canyons have eyes.
The Mesas have eyes. Come on, guys. This is stupid. What are you guys doing with this movie? All right, but so aside from the location, was it like aside from that, did it kind of give you what you thought we were going to get?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, I think it goes a lot further with the premise than I would have expected. I think, but honestly, like I don't think I should go first because I have strong thoughts on this movie and I don't want to come out swinging.
Wow.
So you guys should go first, and then I feel like we can, because I get if I know anything about the two of you, I feel like I'm going to be the odd man out this episode. I feel it in my soul.
Oh my goodness.
Man,
no.
Like
all right. Okay. Well, we'll let that simmer. We'll let that sit out there and baste for a second. Dan, all right. What did you think on your rewatch here of The Hills Have Eyes? Did it hold up to what you had remembered?
Well, let me paint the picture of my college years on the night that I watched this.
No.
Back when Dan was a Chad.
The Chad years. The Dan Chad years. Yes.
We heard about this movie.
Scarf,
so me, my buddy, a few of our friends, there was like 4 of us, and we partake in something in the car before we go into the theater.
Is this something that you poured on your gullet? You blow out the window.
You blow it out the window, but we didn't have the windows down. So
oh no,
good.
Yeah. The car became a box that was hot.
Yes, one of those. So we moved into the theater and we proceeded to sit down. The movie starts.
Totally understand why this movie was so formative for Dan at this point.
I was going to say,
the movie starts and I'm like, this is going to be great. Like, this is cool. It's like a remake of a Wes Craven movie. Awesome. I know Wes Craven.
I have the vision of Dan just housing a box of popcorn as well too.
When they had the baby with a gun to its head and the mom's getting her boob sucked and the daughter and the sister's getting raped, looked at my friends. I was like, what the fuck are we watching? I looked over and I'm freaking out. We're all looking at each other like, what the hell is this movie? We were not prepared. We were not ready for this movie. I do remember that this movie totally I was like, this is way crazy. This is way over the top. I didn't know what I was watching. And then the ending felt so heavy-handed with the symbology and America and all this stuff that I was just like, I don't know if I like that movie. Like, I don't think I like that. And then I gave it time, and when I revisited, because this isn't my second, this is my third rewatch, I think. And so I gave it another chance, and I remember the second time I watched it, I was like, oh, I fucking like this movie a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And third watch, I'm like, yeah, I really like this movie. I like what he did. You can see his, the camera work is incredible. The tension is insane. The sound design is great. The constant, the sound that you feel deep in your head, like a rum, 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 that he just ramps up every time there's something about to happen. It just it gets under your skin. And so there's so much that works for this movie that yes, there's a lot of bad acting delivery, but I feel like it works with it. And some of the plot can be just ridiculous and crazy, but it's for what it is. Like you said, the new take on the update of the Grindhouse meets the French New Extremity. This movie is fucking great. This movie's awesome. So that's where I stand with this. So.
It's funny because that's actually a very similar reaction I had when I first saw it. I'd actually seen High Tension before I saw this, and I knew that Aja was going to be directing this, and that's the reason I wanted to go, because I wanted to see the guy that did High Tension is another movie where people debate the ending or not, but most of that movie is just such a punch in the mouth in terms of its horror. And that's the kind of if you're going to go for hard horror, that's the kind I like, where it's you when you're swinging, you don't pull at the last second. You do a full follow through with punching the audience in the face. And he absolutely did that multiple times in this movie. But at the same time, I feel like he had restraint when he needed to. It didn't go full exploitation. There is no nudity in this movie, even though there's that full, really uncomfortable, gross rape scene. He really does hold back a lot in that scene from what I've seen some other directors do, where they really kind of get into more of kind of the exploitation aspects of it and make it more uncomfortable because you're seeing nudity and more actual what's actually going on. And he pulls back in that scene, and I'm kind of grateful that he did. I feel like he got his point across without having to become too prurient, if that makes sense. But at the same time, I feel like there's so much violence in this movie that is earned. And even in the unrated version, where he holds a little bit longer on Dad getting burned when he's crucified on the tree, and when he shows the head getting split open or whatever, the guys, when the guy who sends them down the wrong path, when he feels bad and blows his head off, we linger for a little bit longer on the headless body, all of that violence, it's earned. And I think that the gritty, gross, dirty nature of this movie, the set dressing, where everything just feels like it's cluttered and it's lived in, and there's dirt and there's age on everything. It feels so real, and it feels so lived in. And that atmosphere is what really drew me into the movie when I watched it the first time. And I felt like he did a home run, because this was an era where not all remakes were good. The Texas Chainsaw remake was good, but not because of any of the reasons that the original movie was good. It was just as a good horror film. This was one where the original film is such a small budget horror film that it needed, this movie gave it so much more vividness. Yeah, there's so much more going on. And the original feels dirtier because it's lower budget, but it also lacks a lot of what this movie has, because it didn't have the ability to do what this movie does. So I was really loving it when I first saw it. I have to admit, this time it felt a little bit more hollow. Watching it for this is probably the 6th or 7th time I've watched this remake. I haven't watched it in a long time. And watching it this time, I didn't connect as much. I wasn't as invested in it when Aaron Stanford, the guy who played the main character, Doug Bukowski in this, right? He was the guy who played Pyro in the X-Men movies. When he starts off as this kind of like weak little nerd and his father-in-law is always bossing him around and making him feel small. Originally, I was like, oh man, his journey's so cool. He becomes a badass by the end because he wants to defend his baby, right? And this time watching, I didn't quite buy it as much. I didn't like his character before that as much. I didn't really want to see him succeed. And I felt like they let a couple of like the two kids that were left back at the RV. I felt like they could have had more going on. I felt like there was more that was left. Kind of the script didn't give me what I wanted, but that was, I don't know. That I'm definitely down on what I thought I was going to be on the movie, but that leads me to you, Ryan.
Oh my.
Now Dan and I have given our takes.
Guys,
what did you think of this movie?
You hated it.
I don't like this movie, guys.
Oh,
guys.
Why?
Everyone in this movie is dumb as a sack of rocks. Every single person in this movie is dumb as a sack of rocks. Also, as much as it's not necessarily problematic in terms of some of the like events of the movie and the way I agree with you that he like showed restraint in certain things. I think this movie's incredibly problematic in the way that it kind of like works with the mutant. Like it really kind of blurs the line between like handicap and mutant stuff and like kind of exploitation of deformities and stuff of like, oh, like these weird looking folks from the backwoods coming in and eating people and raping like teenagers, like goddamn, like the other people out in the woods. And like I feel like there's just like a lot of that just felt uncomfortable of like, it's like, oh, like they, like I particularly I think two scenes that really stood out that way for me are, one, they try and make horror out of the kids that are disfigured that are just trying to play. Like there's these two innocent kids that are just like, hey, you want to come play with us or whatever? And it's like meant to be like a horror moment. And it's like, God, like those are just kids. They're just living their life and they like got disfigured. And like that's meant to be a bad thing. Like how do, like, granted, there's a bunch of horrors going on around that I think contextually definitely is messy. But like then that note feels really painfully out of place of like, oh, here's these two innocent children just trying to be kids, and that's scary. Like,
well, that's
oh God.
Oh, now hold on. I want to jump on that point there because I think that the horror with those scenes is that they're innocent and the government did it to them, right?
Yes.
Like their deformity is meant to shock you, but that deformity is because of the carelessness of the military.
But and I agree with that, and I want to state for the record, I am all for a like the government fucked up and let's stick it to the man narrative like 99% of the time. I just feel like this one didn't do it well. I feel like it doesn't really give, like, you can see here's the setup, here's the result, here's what the reality of this world that we've built is. But that world doesn't really make sense. If they're cannibals, they're in the middle of the desert, there's not going to be enough food source to feed a town consistently unless that dude is sending people down the road like every other day and nobody's keeping track of where all these families are going. Like, that's a lot of people to feed on what's got to be a really scant food resource.
I don't know. You know, you get a family, the average Americans weighing about 200, 250 pounds. They could probably last you a couple of weeks, plus the jerky that you can make you
this
last.
Was made 20 years ago. Not all the average Americans were that
all
high.
The body parts in the freezer.
Yeah,
that's true. They had the body parts hanging.
That's true.
There's a lot of food there.
I agree, but also we're talking of, we see at least like 15 people. Like this is like a town of people, and they've got a meat locker. It shows, I presume, some animal parts too. I'm just saying, like, if it's all humans and like a handful of animals in the middle of the desert, I feel like that's not enough to sustain people long term. But regardless,
well, they didn't look healthy. They looked like they had some vitamin deficiencies going on. You know, like
I feel like vitamin deficiencies is the least of their problems. But
iodine deficiencies, yeah, that's a big problem.
But I just feel like the whole like, oh, the government bombed the area and now there's this thing, and like, America felt very like shallow. I feel like in general the narrative felt pretty shallow throughout, and I wanted, like, I predicted the American flag stab the minute he went in that room. I was like, they're gonna do some really on the nose, like, oh, he's gonna kill him with the American flag, and then he broke the table, and it almost made me think like, oh, are they not gonna do that? And then they circle back on, there it is, okay, cool,
there it is, there's the American flag.
It just felt like it was, I never was impressed with this movie at any point.
Wow.
I felt like in general, I was constantly disappointed by the decisions people made. I was constantly disappointed by kind of the way that they represented the action most of the time. And generally, like, all the stuff that was for the shock factor, I do think that out of everything in the movie, some of the shock factors done well. We referenced that one scene and all the chaos that goes on in it. That is a very deeply, like, ick scene. That is an uncomfortable scene in like 12 different ways. That scene goes on and you're like, God, it just keeps going. And I think out of everything in the movie, that one scene, I think, is the horror movie. But it takes like half an hour to get going. And the writing in that half hour is terrible. And then once it gets going, it does get going. I will give it credit. Once it gets going, it gets going. But then a bunch of stuff happens and then it kind of peters. And eventually I was like, at this point, I want it to resolve. Like, either they're going to get it or they're not. Either he's going to get the baby. So you feel like
it went on too long? Like his adventure basically going to the town and then chasing the baby up in the hills and everything?
I liked it. I think I was more frustrated with the absolute repeated dumb decisions. Why you are and at no point in here comes the outdoor rant. At no point in this movie does anyone take a buddy anywhere.
Wait. If you're going to do your outdoor rant, let's do it formally. Let's do the Ryan Ross Live Wilderness Tips for horror movies. Okay, start at the top with this movie. Let's go into this is why you died.
I'm coming in punching.
Wilderness Tips with Ryan Ross Live. What could they have done differently as far as wilderness survival skills?
Number one. This is set in the early 2000s. Google fucking exists. We have cell phones. We don't have smartphones. Fine.
They had no signal.
They have, and yes, they have no signal. Totally granted.
Okay.
You are on a road trip. You either have a paper map or in the mid 2000s, we were all there. You printed out multiple pages of a Google map. Every single person. There's no way in hell that they had no map. And then they're like, oh yeah, we'll just take the random shortcut from the gas station guy.
No, totally disagree. Dan, why do you disagree? And I'll follow up.
I disagree because what was his name? Big Bob. Big Bob is too good of he's too good of a man. He's a man. He doesn't need a map.
Oh my God,
that's right.
He's the kind of man that was like, I will
bitching at him the entire first time, Ryan, about his wife is telling him exactly what you just said.
Yep. I agree with you guys that like I didn't say it's unrealistic. I said it's dumb as shit. Is what I said. I said everyone in this movie is dumb as a sack of bricks. So number one, they have no map, and then they take strange directions from a person they don't know, they don't trust. And they go with no map. So
all Big Bob so
number
far.
One. All
Big Bob making all the decisions.
Then, right? They get ambushed, they crash the car, great dandy. They go and they're like, okay, we're gonna split up, we're gonna go look for supplies. They at no point in this movie, from front to back, there's not a single moment that anyone takes a buddy anywhere. Everyone leaves alone. Right. They have a family of like 8 fucking people. And at any point, they could be like, hey, come with me. You and me are going to do the thing. And at one point, Big Bob even says, you and me are going to go walking. And then where do they go? Opposite fucking directions. No, like, you are in the middle of nowhere. You're in a survival situation. You already, like, very early, the kid figures out the dog's dead. And still at no point goes like, hey, I need somebody with me. Nobody sticks together. And the only time that anyone takes a double is fucking Doug, or what's his face, takes the dog. And what does he do? He goes, stay in the car. I'm going to lock the dog in the car.
Which, to be fair, saved his life. Because if he brought the dog with him, the dog would have been aced out too. Definitely. And only because the dog was held in the car and it got out later was able to save him.
You see, I would propose that if he had the dog in the first place, maybe the dog could have helped defend him from getting aced out. And like that is your reinforcement.
There was 2 or 3 of them, right? There was multiple people.
He was sneaking in to steal his baby back from the mutants.
Yes.
And then there was the big mama in there watching her TV show, and he's sneaking past her. If he has a 150-pound German Shepherd with him, that doesn't happen.
That's true.
He can't sneak in with a German Shepherd. She might not have gotten the jump on him and put him in the meat locker.
That's what I'm saying.
But you're not getting the baby. Like, you have to stick the dog on mama, but he wasn't at that point yet. He hadn't reached the point where he's like, okay, I have to kill them all. Right?
I agree.
I agree
that like he wasn't trying to kill him, but I'm just saying if you're in a situation where you're surrounded by enemies and somebody has your baby. Why the hell would you leave the one other thing that can watch your back? Is what I'm saying. Like he gets the drop on. Like you're right. He gets the drop on him. The dog could have potentially prevented the drop on him. And even if they get caught, him and the dog can probably take down the one woman. Him by himself gets knocked out and put in a meat locker.
But he didn't know what he was going to expect. But I think it makes sense.
But this Ryan is about preparation.
Sneak in, yes, I agree. But if you are trying to sneak in to a place, you're trying to not cause then having a animal that you can't necessarily control would give that away immediately. Like we saw that dog, as soon as like it saw something, it would take off. Both those dogs were that way.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it was the right move.
Previous point, bring another fucking person.
Yeah.
Like, why in the world? And granted, at that point, there's only 2 kids.
Who else has he got? Like, 2 kids. But one of whom is traumatized and raped, and the other one who's got a concussion. Yeah. And is freaked out to the.
They set up one of the only things that I was like, well, they had a good idea here. They set up the tripwire. And I'm like, okay, at least they're thinking, except for the fact that they don't set it up to a fucking noisemaker. They set up to this little shaky fucking jester toy.
Well, it alerts them. It does alert them. It works. But the problem is they get outsmarted because Papa Jupiter, whose part just gets absolutely butchered in this movie compared to the original one, it was Michael Berryman. But in this movie, he's useless. Like he's smart enough to sneak in and grab the bodies of the mom and the sister out of the truck and sneak over the tripwire while there's a tumbleweed on it. But he's not smart enough to go further than 20 feet before munching on mom.
Oh, right.
And then the kid catches him munching on mom and he goes, "Murr!" and chases the kid right back to the RV and then gets tied to the RV long enough for the kids to escape and set up a bomb. And then he goes around to the door.
Tying somebody with a bungee cord that way would be so hard. Do you know how easy it is to slip out of a bungee cord?
Well, not only that, but how perfect that bomb was set up with the matches on the screen doors when he opens the screen. Well, let me just open this real quick, and all of a sudden there's enough. All the windows are open.
And
there's enough gas to blow it sky high.
They blow up their only shelter. The only other thing they have is the car, which has their dead sister in it.
Not anymore.
Well, yeah. Well, no, they didn't. He just took mom.
He only took mom.
Oh, did he only take mom?
He only took mom. Still in there.
The sister's legs are still in there. Yeah.
Mom, the meat was aged more.
Literally, they blow up their only shot. Just constant decision making. I'm like, this is the dumbest. Don't get me wrong. The explosion was cool.
I'm sorry.
The explosion was a cool action scene, but what the fuck are you thinking?
But some of the dumb decision making in this movie, I do believe was intentional. Some of it, I agree with you. Honestly, the muzzle discipline in this movie is absolutely ridiculous. It makes me insane every time, especially when a guy who's supposed to be a retired detective is blasting off a Colt Python into the dark in the middle of nowhere. He shoots off 4 shells into the dark.
Is what we
What are you
very
doing?
Quickly.
I don't care. Yeah, you obviously have not seen shit if one guy blowing his head off in front of you has got you so rattled that you're shooting off shots.
You're wasting your 6 bullets and firing into the dark with no vision.
To be fair, him doing that did save his daughter later when the one guy, Lizard, gets the gun and goes to puts to his daughter's head and it clicks. If he hadn't had bad muzzle discipline, that would have gotten her. But I digress. The same time, that was terrible. The son is pointing the gun at people right now. No, the safety's on. It's cool. Kid?
Drove me nuts. Drove me up the wall. Unfortunately, though, I feel like accurate character portrayal based off of the way that the Big Bob handled himself. I do feel like that is very in line with some people who I have seen who are very. As somebody who trained children in firearm discipline for multiple years. I have seen people who are very bad at it, and unfortunately, I do feel like that was believable.
As someone who has held guns to many children's heads, Ryan Ross knows the difference.
So I feel like you are faulting this movie for people making bad decisions, but then you also kind of just said that you thought that their character choices made sense because they are dumb people and put into a terrible situation. So I feel like you're sort of.
That's a semi-valid point. I can appreciate some of that.
Yeah. Because the point is these people are they're the modern soft people that are put into a life or death situation. What do you do when you have been shown that you are up against the wall and your life's on the line. And this movie is about that survival instinct. Not always successfully. I will agree with you on that. I don't think the kid's story is done well. Doug's story is done well. Him like going out to that town and basically never say, like, he just does not say die. You know, even when he's like at the lowest point and he's got the axe at his neck and he's saying, please kill me. Just enough to make the guy like kind of lose interest for a second so he can stab him in the foot and keep fighting. Honestly, like, Doug is the dude that is like, no, I will fight to the fucking death for my family. And then it becomes kind of like which is what the original is accused of as well, which is being a Texas Chainsaw ripoff without the excellent subtext. Like, it's not quite as well done is this is America subtext, right? It's like we're going to deal with the sins of America. The sins of America are going to bubble up and come back to wreck the normalcy of the kind of average middle class American. And that's what they're trying to do in this movie is kind of say that, which, you know, as you guys say, not very subtly. But I do think it does have to be a certain level of these people are kind of annoying, kind of dumb, kind of don't know what they're getting into, so that we can see how they react when they're really put up against the wall.
That's fair. And I do think that that's a valid point in the sense that generally I don't, like, upon reflection, I don't think any of them are terribly bright. I do think it was still incredibly frustrating to watch, and that definitely lowered the enjoyment for me. And I will also say there are some decisions that, regardless of them being like bright people, just seemed so blatantly dumb and ignorant that it's like, how could you possibly think this was a good idea in the moment? And it just feels contrived in those moments for me. I think, and to your point, I think the messaging generally came so on the nose that it just pulled me out of the film all the time. There's I can think of one specific shot of, to your point, Doug doesn't say die. He will not give up. And then we have this really cheesy shot of he's like beaten down and he's almost had the baby, and the one guy gets up and knocks him to the ground, and he looks and he sees his wedding ring in the dirt.
Oh, I love that
like,
shot, man.
And I'm like, oh, like, I don't know.
See, that's funny because the things that's what bothered me the first time I saw it was like the use of the American flag, the use of the American family of like the family unit, the family unit at the end with the dog and the baby and the man, and we're surviving, and like the ring. That all got to me the first time, but like rewatching it, especially this third time, I really enjoyed it being on the nose. He's just coming in. This like French dude is like, fuck America, look at this thing I'm making. It's like, he's like, yes, this is what America is giving you. And I love
that he took that imagery of that kind of the nuclear family and he threw it into that opening little bit where you have like the country song with all of like the old footage. Totally ripping off Zack Snyder and the Dawn of the Dead remake, right? Same exact kind of intro.
I think every movie after Dawn of the Dead had that kind of thing. Is like, let's take a country song and then glitch it out every now and then and like show something scary. It's like they did that. Like all the movies did that for like a few years.
It was literally making me like jolt every time. I was like, God, this like just end the intro. I know when it was.
Oh, it's horror. Oh, it's horrible.
I mean, the horror was fine. It was more just like the sound effect was so brutally unpleasant that I was like, just end the intro, dude.
Welcome to the wonderful world of the Stinger. Now, I like the nuclear family kind of comparisons they're doing. I love the mannequins, like having all of the mannequins from the tests and everything, representing the idealized
Call of Duty
American
Nuketown
family.
map.
Yeah, Fallout 4, baby. Let's go. Fallout New Vegas, excuse me. That was good stuff. But all that to say that apparently we have some different ideas or different views of this movie, but definitely not a perfect movie, but has some solid things in it. I do want to get into who we hated in this movie. The Guy Woodhouse Award. The Fuck That Guy Award. Who in this movie gets the Fuck That Guy Award? And I think I have an idea who Ryan's going to pick. I'm very curious, but it is Dan's movie. Go. So Dan, who gets your Fuck That Guy Award for The Hills Have Eyes?
I mean, mine's the main dude. I don't really know the names. He's
Doug?
the one with the
Doug?
No, he's the one with the whipping
Lizard.
thing.
Lizard.
Is his Lizard?
Oh.
Yeah. He holds a gun to a baby. he's doing some of the worst stuff. Like, I mean, was he eating the leg, or was that a different person in the beginning?
Was Goggle. That was Goggle.
Okay.
That was
I don't know how
their...
you caught the names, but yeah, like
I've seen it a few times.
Okay. But yeah, I think he's every time I saw him on screen, I'm like, oh no. I mean, he ate a bird. He ate a bird's head.
Yeah, the bird was brutal.
He Ozzy Osbourne
made me
their
sad.
parakeet. Yeah. He didn't even smash it like his big brother. He just went right for it. Nom nom nom. He was a hungry man. I mean,
That's
like
my
Brian
guy.
said, he probably hasn't had a lot of good food lately, and that bird
True.
was probably very filling. Me, I don't know, man. I really don't have a whole lot of love for the gas station attendant.
Oh, the dad. Isn't he their father? Kind of? Isn't he the dad?
Yeah, and so in the original, he's the father of the mutants. In this one, they
Okay.
never really established that fully.
Well,
what the relationship is there.
this time they really, I think they hit it on the head. I didn't catch it the first few times, but like after the dad kills himself, then they all start around him going, "Father, father, father, father." So there's that sound.
But they're
effect.
talking. But are they talking to him, or are they talking to Big Bob?
The first time I saw it, I was assuming it was Big Bob, but I'm thinking it was this time that they're actually talking about, like, he was dad, because he's like, I can't do it anymore. And then when he's like, I tried my best, I think he's saying as a dad, I tried my best, but like it wasn't good enough. Like they're still fucked up.
Well, regardless, in the original movie, he was literally the dad of all the mutants, and in this one, it's kind of more not really sure. But all that to say that fuck that guy. He's the one out there sending everyone to their death. He's too weak to stop it. And this new family comes along, and he's like, well, they might have seen something, so check out that left up the road over there.
I mean, you definitely see the Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoff right there with the
gas
the gas
station
attendant being behind it and all
100%,
that.
100%. Ryan Ross live, who gets the fuck that guy award for The Hills Have Eyes.
Well, I was also going to do the gas station attendant because that guy sucks.
He sucks.
Like the fact that he's consciously, and also it seems like, at least implied to me, he's getting essentially paid off for it. He's sending people to their deaths, and they're sending all of their valuables back to him so that he can sell them off.
Still on the ear, some of them. Yeah.
Like, God, that guy, that was going to be my guy, but I'll try and pick a new one. Honestly, like, we took a lot of the good ones, huh?
I mean, there's a big one kind of sitting out there still.
Well,
there's the.
I feel like I can't fault any of the family. Like some of the family sucks. But like, I feel like
the mutant family or the
regular family,
RV family,
the RV family. I don't feel like I can fault any of them too bad, because yes, some of them suck, but also
they were dumb and they sucked, but you didn't want them to die. They're not
the level of fuck that guy, you know?
Okay, all right.
Like some of them are pretty insufferable, and you're like, God, but like it's not like that. Like fuck them. I
mean, I can give you a close-up second if you're having trouble with anybody.
Fire. Well, I'm curious because you guys both have one more.
Tumor head guy, the big brain, man.
Big brain.
Woo, that guy was...
Fuck him.
But also, though, he sucks, but also his life sucks. Like, he must
be the brains behind
look
it,
at you,
though.
Empathetic for the evil mutants.
With the...
Well,
but look at him. Have you seen the dude? He has to live in agony every day. That's gotta suck.
He was the one telling him what to do.
Yeah, he was
he was the one that told him to get the big
mastermind. It's very on the nose. He's got the big brain and he can't leave the chair. What was the
we don't know if
his
brain is big. It's just a big pus sack. I think the biggest trick this movie missed was you send Doug into town with a baseball bat, nice fat Louisville Slugger, and you have a guy in there who's stuck in a wheelchair, and he's the mastermind of this whole thing, or one of the masterminds. And he's got this giant pus sack of a head that he can't move because it's so swollen and just sticking out there, big and ripe like a gigantic melon. And I'm sitting there going, how, as a French New Exterminity director, do you not have the guy take the baseball bat to this guy's dome? How do you have him die off screen to the dog and not pop that fucking head?
They play football over there. They don't have baseball, man. It wasn't.
Come on. He had a bat.
I agree. That's a very
or the pickaxe.
American.
Pop it and then
like
a fire hose
that for the end. The end was so satisfying when he flipped it.
it.
Oh, I love when he flipped it.
That was a cool shot.
I even
agree.
said it because I totally forgot that, and I said out loud, I'm watching this in the middle of the night, and I said out loud, I was like, "Flip that bitch," and he did it. And got him. I was like, "Yes,
dude." That is probably one of the hardest shots in this movie.
Very good. I agree.
Where he's getting ready to finally get revenge on this big old mutant dude. He's got him down, and he's been through hell, and he's fed up, and he takes the axe and he goes, and he flips it.
Yeah,
and he gets the spike end.
I cheered. I cheered. I
agree. That was a good moment. Honestly, though, but why did he have the bat? He could have had. He left the little brother-in-law with the gun. Give the brother the bat, and he's staying in one place. Take the gun.
He's going with the dog and the bat.
The dog.
Also, they established that he had no gun. Like he had no
true.
gun.
Right.
He didn't know how to use a gun. The son was trained,
true.
so it's like he's like,
no,
stop
he
pointing
was
at
not
me.
Trained, but
the son was
he had experience, quote
poorly.
unquote.
He was trained poorly, but that brings us
run and shoot.
Wildly,
shit like that,
fling the muzzle at people. But that actually brings us to a very good point. I think Ryan's going to have a hell of a lot of fun with this section. This is why you died. It's the name of the show. It's why we're here, and this movie has a lot of it. It's pretty much this whole family. Ryan, I'm going to let you start because you got a beef against this poor family and all the people that died in this movie, mutants and regular people alike. Would you like to go and tell people why someone died in The Hills Have Eyes?
I'm going to take the first and most obvious choice, and it's Big fucking Bob. What the hell are you doing? You're going to walk alone through the desert with no water. He doesn't take water. All he takes is his fucking pants and a gun. And he walks off into the desert going, I'll be back. I've got no map. I've got no phone. I'm going to go get help. And then I'm going to come back. And he is in way over his head.
Dude,
and
he walks off with no water, with a Colt Python 45 and two giant balls swinging between his legs.
The caucasity of this man. What is he thinking? What is he thinking? Absolutely insane.
Oh
my Big Bob.
I don't know where to go from that. The caucasity, maybe? I don't. Damn, Marcha Madness, tell us why someone died, and this is the Hills Have Eyes. Oh my goodness.
I'm going. I decided to go real, like, just way out there for it because I like to point out that her death was meaningful. So I'm going with Little Red Riding Hood, and it was nice that she that she took out. She took out to her family member and sacrificed herself to save the baby and the dad. I thought that was really cool. So she died for, I don't know, for love of the kid, of the baby. I don't know why she died, but that was why she died. I mean, she died for...
Man, I can't stand her death. That's the one, even when the first time I saw this movie, I was kind of like,
really? I liked it.
Where she runs and tackles her brother off of a cliff and they both just fall and then they're just dead on the bottom of the cliff and Doug kind of goes, huh, and he walks away. Like, fuck you, dude.
Honestly, I want a side-by-side of her diving off the cliff with her brother and that scene of the dude getting dropped off the bridge in Monty Python because it is the same shot.
The same shot.
Of, like, they're just going like,
yeah,
like, falling into the distance. I was like, oh god.
Done. Yeah. I'm gonna edit that.
Okay, yeah.
Please do.
Ruby,
I'm
Snake.
serious. It's literally, if you put them next to each other, I'm like, this is the same shot.
Oh man.
Oh man.
What is the way out of the desert? East, no, west.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that better than I like Ruby's death, which I thought was meaningless. It was just a way to kill off a character. So yeah, I mean,
she couldn't live.
The original,
otherwise
the
they would have
original
had
movie,
to adopt her, and that would have been meaningful.
Which was what they originally had in the script for the first movie, and they still didn't do in the first movie either. She dies off in the first movie, or I forget if she dies or they leave her, but it's been a long time since I've seen the original. That would have been too poignant.
We have to keep it very on the nose and cheesy. All the mutants have to die.
Dark.
They're not human.
Which is why I thought that like maybe she should have lived and like they could have started rebuilding the family. That also would have been really cheesy, Ryan, if you're like, well, no, mutants and humans can live together.
No, but to your point though, they spend the whole movie like essentially demonizing these people for the fact that they like have lived suffering lives, and like granted the cannibalism thing's ridiculous, but they spend the whole movie demonizing this thing, and then you have the opportunity to potentially go deeper than that and redeem it in a way and be like, it doesn't all have to be this way. And then they go, nope, she's just going to jump off a cliff and die with, to your point, essentially no purpose. Like, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
And she's dead.
Terrible.
Problem solved. Moving on.
Yeah. Well, and I'm going to pick for This Is Why You Died. I'm going to pick every single mutant in this movie who didn't realize that you don't fuck with a family that has no dog control on two giant German shepherds. This family could not only not have any muzzle discipline with their fucking guns, they had no dog discipline. You have two gigantic dogs. These are big killing beasts. We know they're killing beasts because one of them in this movie rips off someone's arm and brings it back to the camper with a walkie-talkie. These are killing beasts, and they're letting these fuckers run. They get out 4 times in the movie.
They're out a lot.
Oops, they're out again.
One of them breaks out of a chain.
Right, dude, these dogs are not fucking around. As soon as these mutants saw these dogs, they needed to ace them right. They aced one, and then the other one was a problem. That other one killed more of them than any of the other humans in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Beast, the German Shepherd in this movie, is the hero of this movie, and I'll die on that hill. Beast is my boy. That's one of the goodest boys in horror movie history.
I love Beast. Yeah.
Every mutant that underestimated that dog deserved to die. And as someone who's got a dog that I have to be careful of because he's a big boy and I can't like just let him run free, their discipline on those dogs was terrible. And those mutants should have been terrified the second that those dogs got out at the gas station or running around. He should have been, nah, I'm going to send them on down the road to Albuquerque.
Yeah.
We're not fucking with them. So that is why those mutants died. German Shepherds.
Very good.
German Shepherds.
Good point.
Good dogs.
Good choice.
Good dogs. Yeah. Scully Award time. All right. This is going to be interesting because Ryan had some beef with this movie.
Oh, he had a lot of beef.
Dan, I'm going to let him go last. I'm going to save his for last. Dan, Marcha Madness. This was your movie. You picked it. What did you think? The third rewatch of The Hills Have Eyes from 2006.
I'm going with a solid 8 for me. You know, it does have its faults. You know, that there is some, you know, like all the characters make bad decisions, but, you know, I think that is some of the point, but it can be a little bit of clunkiness, and it can feel a little bit of dated at times too. I will say it does. I did see Ryan's point a little bit of. I feel like that leading up to that third act, it does meander a bit. It takes a little bit too long. I think. I'm for sure I saw the unrated version, which might be a little bit longer, but I think it could have been a little bit leaner. But overall, this movie is like. This movie's very strong. I think after watching it a third time and I was thinking about the movie, I feel like this was the movie that propelled me to then go watch High Tension and then get into the French New Extremity, because I was like, who the hell was that? What was that movie? And then when I looked back to see what he did, I was like, okay, I got to start watching this stuff because that was insane. Yeah. And I had never seen anything so like that be put on the screen, you know, so mainstream of like, oh, we're just going to watch this on a Friday night. It was just like so shocking at the time. And I will have to say too that, you know, like Ryan's point, I don't want to sound like the old man, but again, it's going to be the old man, but there is definitely, it feels like there's a generational difference between the way that Ryan took this movie and the way that he was saying of like demonizing the people and like how it felt like that. And I think that I just know that was just kind of acceptable at the time. That was just kind of like, you know, things that you can get away with in the 90s, things that you got away with in the early 2000s. You couldn't really do that now. And I can understand where you saw that as being like a, you know, being like a knock on the film. Yeah. And so problematic. And yes, it would be now. But I think at the time there was a lot, again, 2006. We're living in a time where we're in a war. This is post 9/11. Everything's changed. We don't trust our government.
True.
We're like, we don't know what's going on. This movie is basically putting that in your face of like, look at what the government has done to this country.
That's
that we are
true.
creating enemies of each other, and the government is not in this at all. Like maybe in the beginning, those testing guys, but there's no military. There's nothing. It's just a family versus a fucked up family, and the country did that to them, and that's kind of like what was happening. Is that like this terrorist attack happened, and then it was Americans on another Americans, and so it was very poignant at the time, putting that on a screen and shocking us that way.
And I'll double up on that. The point where they even have the one thing where they point out that Doug is a Democrat and Big Bob is a Republican, and Big Bob is teasing him because he doesn't know about anything about guns because he's a Democrat. And I'm like, that's so fucking quaint.
Yeah.
Those were the days where we could tease each other, right?
Yeah.
But even at that point, I remember seeing that in this movie at the time and being like, ooh, that's a little on the nose when it's really kind of like making it out like we're, more divided than we are. And it's like, that was kind of naive. Yeah. Right. But that's also, it's a really good point, Dan. And I think that's a really interesting thing to take to this movie is to look at it in the framework of where everything was, both socially and politically when this movie came out, but also in context of horror movies. Like this movie was absolutely just very in your face for an American horror movie. And that was the point, right? Mm-hmm. Wes Craven, his original was very in your face, and Last House on the Left, very in your face for horror movies at the time. And so I think that his point with doing this one and having someone like a French New Extremity director, like really pushing the boundaries of American horror was kind of the point. And so it really did feel revelatory when it came out in terms of its horror. And I still look at it and go, when I watch a horror movie, I want it to punch like this. I want it to feel like this. It's in your face. It's gritty. It's dirty. It feels hardcore. Mm-hmm. And like, I love that feel of this movie. And it's something that is so specific to that time and era. And that nostalgia might be part of why I rate this movie a little bit higher than I normally maybe would. I'm also going to give it an 8, Dan. Nice. It's funny because in my memory, I would have put it an 8.5 coming into the show, but rewatching it, I did see more of its faults. I feel like time has not been as kind to it. I feel like there's some story elements that fall more flat for me now, but man, it's still such a strong movie in so many ways. It's well directed, the atmosphere, the vibes. It's a vibe thing for me with this movie. Hills Have Eyes is an 8 for me. And now Ryan Ross Live, we're going to drag down our average. I have a feeling. Ryan Ross Live, what do you give to Hills Have Eyes 2006?
So I was going to give it a 6.5, but I will say, I think Dan's point is very salient. And I think that viewing it from a 9/11 angle, I do think makes it a stronger movie. And I hadn't considered the fact that was something that would be very relevant at the time that this was being made. And honestly, even prior to Dan's point, I think there are the two scenes, the original trailer scene where everything goes sideways and just how brutal that one scene is. That's basically the movie for me. But then also there's a couple other cool shots. The explosion is cool. The pickaxe shot is cool. There's some elements of moments that they're able to make. I think him being trapped in the freezer, the meat locker, I think is a cool little thing. That one's brutal. And so
when he flips on the match and there's body parts everywhere and he flips out.
There are moments that are very strong in this movie. Do I think the movie's very good? Not really. Do I think that it could have been much stronger if it was handled better? And like if it had been better written, if there was all sorts of stuff, like there's a lot of things I think could be better about this movie. It's not a bad movie. I'm going to end up at a 7 for this movie.
All right.
Hey, I'm glad I helped bring it up a bit.
Yeah, that's I think that's a fair rating. If it didn't 100% click for you, still give it its flowers where it's due. And speaking of scenes that really hit hard, as I'm a big nuclear bomb nerd, and nothing actually scares me more than nuclear weapons and radiation and fallout and all of that stuff. And the scene where he walked into that valley and and all of a sudden you realize he's in a bunch of craters.
Yeah. He's just touching everything and you're like, dude, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, well, put two and two together here.
Well, yeah, but it would be by this point that wouldn't be too bad for him. It wouldn't cause too much lasting damage for him to go in, grab some stuff and come back out.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be
too much
bad.
Being the operative words.
Yeah. Wouldn't be too bad. Wouldn't be too bad. He's not living there and eating the flora and fauna and drinking the water. That would be where you'd really have the lasting
But
damage.
still, he's
in
like
terms of-
collecting mementos and like little
Yeah.
tchotchkes, and he's like, "Hey, I found all this stuff." I'm like, "Dude, all that stuff's not great."
Yeah, it's not great. It's not as bad as you think it might be. It's not as bad as it would have been like 30, 40 years ago.
Totally.
But
It's not stuff you should be carrying
great.
around,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
Like-
no, probably don't want to be hanging on to the fishing pole.
Yeah.
That you
Or the teddy
randomly
bear.
took from the
That
crate.
Yeah.
probably is.
The
It's
teddy
like,
bear. That's true. That's true. A lot of that dust is not something you want to have your baby inhaling. Little bit of trivia. A couple of little things of trivia here, Ryan. This is for both of you guys. The photos at the beginning of the mutant babies.
Oh,
Not actually from radiation. Those are actually Agent Orange babies.
oh,
Those are real
God.
photos of real
oh,
babies.
Man,
Those are not made up in
Ooh.
Photoshop, but that's Agent Orange, not
which
radiation.
was also us.
Yes.
Okay.
Shocking. Yeah. And then in other interesting trivia, Ryan, did you by any chance happen to recognize the actor who played Big Bob?
Mm.
No.
Oh,
His name is Ted Levine, and you've seen him acting before. Last time, of course, you saw him. He had his
Oh, can I
penis
give a
tucked between
line?
his legs. And yeah, go ahead.
What? Is she great big fat woman? Is she a great big fat person?
Is that your imitation?
That's my imitation. That's a great
What?
line in that movie. It's a
Where's your
great line in the
big fat
movie.
person?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
That's better. That's better. Yours is better.
He's Buffalo
Dude.
Bill in.
He was Buffalo
yeah,
Bill in
that's
Silence of the
wild.
Lambs. Yeah. What an opposite character. You talk about
Yeah.
range of acting to go from Buffalo Bill to Big Bob. That is.
I will say, Big Bob is very
wild.
convincing. Big
Yeah.
Bob is.
Dude.
Big Bob is very. Big Bob exists.
Yeah, I know. That's again, Ted Levine, fantastic actor. Had to throw him his flowers there. He's so good. I did not realize it when I first watched this movie. I just was like, that voice sounds familiar. I couldn't place it.
It's
And
very
the credits
distinct,
rolled.
yeah.
The credits rolled and my hair went flying off my head. Like, what? No way. Yeah. So good job, Ted Levine, in this movie. Absolutely fantastic. And for a guy who's like in it for like what quarter of the movie, steals the movie. He's so good. Big Bob. Big Bob. Shout out to Big Bob. Goes out like a champ.
Oh,
All right. Well, that's
Like
it,
a
man.
candle.
Dan, you are out of a prompt.
I am indeed.
You are out of a prompt, my guy. That means you have to go reach into your brand new gigantic Sinners bucket of the
Oscar-winning
beast.
bucket of popcorn.
Yo, we didn't
true.
even talk about the horror Oscars this year, guys. Maybe we'll get that on the next episode. We have
Yeah.
not reacted to that. That was in the break. The Oscars happened, and the most wins for horror movies ever in the history of the Oscars. Out of this world. We'll talk about that on the next episode. But Ryan, you and I are sitting on some prompts. I'm sitting on Twisted. I'm going to give my movie for that in a second. But Ryan, what are you sitting on right now?
I have Resurgence.
Resurgence. What are you going to do with that?
Dude, that's a tough one.
I'm still noodling on it. I've got a
Okay.
concept, but I have to
you have a
look
concept
into
of a plan.
I have a con-
Okay. I have made a
Thinking about the
choice.
nose.
All right.
I have
well,
made a choice, and I'm
Resurgence
looking
is a
at
tough
it for
one.
the first
All right.
time. Resurgence.
Resurgence. Well, Dan,
Oh yeah, I
Marcha
remember
Madness.
we were making jokes about it. Remember, we were like that trilogy movie, Regurgence or Resurgence?
Divergence.
Divergence. Yes.
Yeah, Divergence.
Oh yeah, the book series.
The book
Regurgence.
series that became
Yes.
a movie series.
Yes.
Okay, here we
Kind
go. The choice I chose, the prompt I have,
Let's go.
is incredible.
Ooh.
It is evil.
come on. Are you
Evil.
shitting me?
So good.
No, it's evil. It's evil.
I thought you
Evil.
said it was incredible for a second there. I'm like, that's pretty good too. But
this
evil's
is a
even
good
better.
choice. It's a good
He's
choice.
literally
Evil.
wearing
My
Evil
choice is
Dead,
evil.
the shirt.
I know. He's wearing Evil Dead the shirt. We had a news segment unprompted about Evil Dead, and you picked the word evil.
And I've never seen
I don't
Evil
know,
Dead.
Dan. I don't know. That's
Oh no!
if you don't pick Evil Dead, I think you might get struck by
I
lightning
know,
at this
but which
point.
You
one?
To be fair, you've also like evil is very broad. You can pick whatever you want, no pressure.
Yes,
Sure,
but
Sure. Yeah. No pressure. No pressure from the evil.
No
Yeah,
pressure
but
from
which
me,
Evil Dead
plenty
do
of
I
pressure
choose?
from
Do I
Ian,
choose
apparently.
2? Do we start at 1? Do we start at the remake, which is excellent? I
mean, I don't know. You know what you need to do is look into a mirror and say Klaatu Barada and see which one you
It's a
decide.
good joke, dude. Ryan isn't getting it yet, unless we choose to watch that one, or it
That's
could just
true.
roll the dice at some point. I don't know. We'll
You
see.
could.
Yeah.
Or you could just, like,
how many movies are
You
there?
think
Do you have you've got plenty of dice. You might have a
You've
dice
got
with the
time.
amount of movies.
You've got time. You got time. It doesn't have to be
No,
Evil
there's
Dead.
not that
It can be
many
something.
Evil Deads. Not enough.
Evil.
But maybe.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll see.
I'll think
There's a
about it.
D4
Evil,
in there.
great choice. Or I
Are
could
there
totally
4
just
Evil
not
Deads?
go Evil Dead at all.
That's right.
Resident Evil is also a movie
Resident
series.
Evil. It is. It's not a good one, but it is definitely a possibility.
The new
It would
one's
be fun
coming
to
out.
tear it apart. That's
Not
true.
for a
That's true.
while.
Zach Krager has one coming out very soon. But all right, Dan's got evil for a prompt, which is
All right.
that's it's a very broad prompt, kind of the
Very
opposite
broad.
of Resurgence.
There are many times that we've pulled prompts that I would have loved to have evil instead of whatever I pulled.
You know what,
very
Ryan? You have
big.
to pay for your amazing dice rolling with
That's
your
true.
with your bad prompt
That's
picking.
true.
All right. But speaking of prompts, I'm sitting on Twisted, and I've got to tell you guys what our movie is going to be for next week here on This Is Why You Died. And I'm not going to lie, this ended up being a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I was like, Twisted. Yeah, I can just do something with barbed wire or like clowns or something that's just, twisted. I thought about Saw, one of the Saw movies. I was like, I went to Killer Clowns from Outer Space was a possibility.
wow.
That would have been fun. But ultimately, I decided to go kind of a little bit literal with it. And I went with the idea of one's hopes and dreams being twisted, like sort of the idea of
like
things
a
that you
monkey's
want.
paw?
Yeah, like kind of like a monkey's paw. Exactly. Actually, yes, Ryan, very close to that, because the movie that I picked is an underrated 90s schlock gem.
Oh my.
And it is Wishmaster.
I have not seen this one. I haven't seen Wishmaster.
Does it have a monkey's paw in it?
Not
Okay.
really.
Not that I know of, right?
Not literally
Okay, the
a
way you
monkey's
reacted,
paw.
I was like, is that a thing?
It's basically that concept, but just with a
Okay.
genie, an evil genie instead of a monkey's paw.
Ooh, I like
yeah.
genies. I'm down for
Yes.
evil genie.
Yes, evil genies, and it's basically like a horror nerd's wet dream, and I'll leave it at that. You'll see what I mean. There's cameos
Okay.
out the hoo-ha. It's made by special effects royalty. It's basically all the guys who did like Walking Dead and all that stuff. Like this is where they kind of got their showcase. So it's
cool.
It's fantastic. It's underrated.
I did not know that.
underseen.
I thought it was just a Wes Craven directed.
Wes Craven.
movie, but
Wes Craven produced it. He did not direct it.
Oh, okay.
Robert
For some reason, I thought
Kurtzman.
he directed. Oh.
Robert Kurtzman, the K in KNB Effects.
Oh,
Was the
Kurtzman
director.
and then
Nicotero.
but Kurtzman did it. Yeah. Okay, so Walking Dead guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So Wishmaster coming up next week. I highly recommend you check it out. It's a ton of fun. It's a great, just awesome schlocky 90s horror movie. It's a blast, and if you like seeing horror cameos, it has them all, and that's not a joke. It has every horror cameo you could ask for. So
Jeez.
there you go. Boys, we're gonna head towards the exits of the theater. Let's do some business on our way out. Dan, tell them where they can find us, and Ryan, tell them about our Patreon.
Well, let's see if I can remember it this time, but beacons.ai/TIWYD pod is where you can find all of the links to listen to us wherever you stream your podcast, and you can also get our YouTube links so you can watch the full episodes there. And you can buy our merch. Look, I got the beanie on right now.
That's right.
We got the merch. So and we got new stuff that we're adding. It's season 3. So
That's right. Ryan,
Here
what do
we
we have
go.
that's new? What do we have that's new?
So
in the
we are
merch
going.
store?
We are adding new merch to the store. We are working about this time. We should be putting the final details on a little surprise that we have for you guys. So we'll have a new wave coming in. But as we mentioned in the finale, we are making it so that all season 1 and 2 merch is staying, and season 3 we are adding new gear. But starting with season 3, we are going to make it so that at the end of every season we shutter previous merch and we cycle in new merch for every season. So it'll be exclusive. So if you want anything from season 1, 2, or 3, now this season will be the last chance you have
Get it now.
to get it.
Yeah.
So, and speaking of the merch, another thing that you can find on our beacons is our Patreon. We have a Patreon. You can get, there we have various membership tiers, and each membership tier has exclusive perks, including access to our extended episodes where we talk before and after every episode. You can get merch discounts if you'd like to go tag in on some of the merch over there. And our highest tier is our dedicated benefactors, which gives you a personal shout out every single episode. So thank you, CG, for your lovely patronage.
CG.
We appreciate you so much.
Yeah.
And also the patrons, for our March kind of bonus, we have bonus content that we put on the Patreon every month. And our March one was that all the patrons got a personal shout out from all three of us, thanking them for their support. And so thank you to everybody who does choose to support the Patreon, or if you just choose to listen, we appreciate you as well. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the community. And we love building this thing with you. So thank you for being here for the journey.
Yeah, and as we always say, if you make it this late in the show, this deep into the show, we really appreciate it. We love you. Thank you so much, so much for supporting this show. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate it, because this is just fun for us. So if you guys want to come along for the ride, it is awesome to have you. So we really appreciate you. So yeah, everyone, thank you very much. Welcome to season 3. Here we go. Once more unto the breach, dear friends. Once more. And of course, we will be back next week with Wishmaster.
Wishmaster.
Can't fucking wait for that one. Cannot wait for that. But guys, we'll see you next time. For Ryan Ross Live, for Dan Marcha Madness, I am Sir Ian Dangerous. We will see you next time right here on
This is why you die.